Oh man. Well, as you can see, there's some dirt on the road. There's some progress happening. In this part 3 of what's going on at the Virginia Zoo, I want to show you guys a little bit about the turtles that we're building this whole habitat for. I want to show you how the construction is going so that when this whole exhibit is done, you can appreciate where it's coming from right now. So we had some rain yesterday. The rain came down and it's kind of made the job site a little bit of a mess, but no worries. We're still working through it. We're still making things happen. So here is our disaster zone right now. So you can see there's still some standing water on there. Not to worry, our drain system is working. It's gonna catch it all. So right now, what we're doing is we've got our intake bay almost completely built here. So this is where our housing, our pump for our housing is going to be. And so that's gonna drop down in that basin right there. All this surface area right here, where you see April just walked through, all this water is gonna kind of come rushing here. And the whole idea is that it just kind of spins around in here until you scoop it out with the net or it breaks down and gets back into the water column. This concrete cloth right now, this is one of the more critical parts of our entire environment here. This concrete cloth, as you see, it's going in kind of flexible right now. But when we're done with it, it actually, once it gets water and once it hits it, it actually sets up super, super hard and ends up being like a membrane that keeps the turtles' claws and all their feet that you'll see later when they're in this environment, they're not gonna be able to claw through it and tear out and get into that space. So we've got April, Jim, Nelson, Donnie, Christian, Luke, and Sonny over here right now. So you can see we got all hands on deck getting this concrete cloth in here. We've already moved some of our boulders around over here. So we had a ramp built right here for getting the big machine down in. That's not gonna work anymore. So that big machine can actually fit just barely around here. So anytime we need a pallet of boulders, we're actually coming across this whole concrete area here and then moving it over into there. And then we've got our 2 little machines that we're actually gonna have to, at the end of this, lift out with the excavator, the larger excavator. So these guys are just gonna kind of be in here for the duration of the exhibit until we're done. And then at that point, we'll pull them out, get them out of the way, and then we'll do all of our landscaping and mulching and do all that kind of stuff. All right, now that we've seen what's going on here, let's go check out the turtles and see what they're doing. And it's pretty cool. Dennis is gonna give us a little explanation about their environment and what they're gonna need to survive here in this naturalistic waterfall that we're making. Okay, so what you saw back over there in that exhibit where we're building and doing all the construction. Oh, and I've got April back here with me. We're actually going here to see the turtles where they are housed right now. So we just kind of get a feel for what they're looking like. And we're gonna be hanging out with Dennis and he's gonna explain some stuff to us about what this turtle habitat needs to look like, how it needs to feel, and kind of just educate us a little bit on these turtles. So let's go check it out. So Dennis, what turtle is this right in here? What does it need to have? What kind of habitat do we need to build for it?
So this is an alligator snapping turtle. This is our male. So he actually was where he wasn't supposed to be. He was in Northern Virginia. He's supposed to be kind of in the Midwest and southern part of the United States.
Right.
So he's going to go in this new turtle area and hopefully have a large section where he can go underwater and hang out. Look cool for everybody to see.
And you were saying he's here because he's like an escape artist, right?
So he was just found in a pond in
Okay.
Fairfax, Virginia. So he was found in a pond there, which is just not supposed to be there. Then the local Fish and Wildlife asked somebody to take him, so we were like, oh, we're building an exhibit.
Right. Here he is.
Yeah. Can't reintroduce him into the wild.
Right.
He's going to like transfer or something. So he gets to be here with us for a while. And the good thing about snapping turtles is they're pretty good when they're underwater. Like you can touch them and he's.
Yeah, I saw him just kind of buck at you a little bit there.
It, but he's not bad. Once you take him out of the water, they get a little feisty.
Yeah. So these ridges on the back, what do those kind of signify? Is there anything we should know about that?
Exactly.
Okay.
So as far as the way the carapace goes, the carapace is the back part of it.
Okay, so it's called carapace?
Yeah, so with alligator snapping turtles, they have all these ridges, whereas common snappers don't have all these ridges.
Okay.
Alligator snapping turtles also have this giant head, which common snappers have a big head, but not as big as that.
Okay.
And they don't get this big in general.
So this guy, he's led a very good life.
He has, and he still has a lot to go. So they find these animals with like musket balls in their back.
Oh, really?
They find, like in Louisiana, they'll find them and they'll have musket
Yeah.
balls in their back. So they've been around forever. They take a long time to grow, but they also can get like double in size.
Gotcha. How old is he?
We
Don't know. Only can guess.
But we haven't weighed him in a while, but his last weight, I think he was like 8 pounds.
Sweet.
So he's one of those things you hold him, but you can't hold him for so long.
Right.
Especially because he's not hanging out. He doesn't want you to go.
Right.
So he's supposed to be in the water. So
Yep.
as long as he's in the water,
He's a good guy.
he's good, yeah.
And so we have 2 mates over here for him as well, right?
And so we have 2 girls that these came from a guy had these as pets and couldn't take care of them. And so we have these over here. These are another one of these things that these are 2 girls, luckily, because they live together and they get good, but they got too big for us to keep them together. So we have them here. So hopefully once we have a lot of space, we can put them all together. Because these guys, unlike common snappers, actually do well together.
Okay.
So
And will these breed in captivity?
they do breed in captivity.
That's
So-
awesome.
So hopefully what we're going to plan on doing is having places that he can be at, and if they don't want to be near him.
Right. Once they're trying to get away from him.
That's our goal with all of this, to make it so they have some places to get away.
Yeah.
As you can see, the girls are much smaller. We've had these girls since 2015. We had them on exhibit for a little bit, then we pulled them back here. They don't do a whole lot, so they don't want to keep them here forever, but they do pretty well like this. So
Yeah.
we keep them back here. And,
That's
a
cool.
couple times a week and check on them a couple times a day, and
And they're pretty happy.
they do pretty well.
Yeah. So I think the coolest one we have is over here. So tell me about what we've got in this tank right here.
Diamondback Terrapin. His exhibits aren't all to be
Right.
looked at beautifully, but
But that's why we're building one.
right. So this is a Diamondback Terrapin. So this actual animal is one of our education animals. So these are a local turtle. These guys come out of the bay. They come out of all over Virginia. They actually come all over the East Coast.
And is this a she or a he?
This is a girl.
This is a girl.
So they
Okay.
have small tails for the girls. They
Yeah.
also have sometimes they have shorter claws in the front.
Yeah, she has like webbed feet, which
Yeah.
not all of them do, right?
Yeah, these guys live. They literally live in the bay and in the ocean, as
Right.
well as in other brackish water. So, like Pleasure House Point down offshore drive.
Yep.
Is a big place that they nest. So a lot of that stuff is totally. They do a lot of surveys on them, but they are sympatric a lot of times with sea turtles as far as nesting and for nursery area goes. They also are affected a lot by crab pops.
Okay.
And like local fishing and things. So there's a big message as far as them. And so we use this animal for education to teach kids about that kind of thing. We
Right.
have an outdoor pond with her that just with the heat right now. we've
It's
brought her
too
in
much.
here for a little
Yeah.
bit.
So if you see one of these, what should you do in the wild?
Just leave it alone.
That's right.
Now, they're protected. I don't think you can have them as pets at all either. So we do get people that'll be like, oh, I caught one. And so because they do wash up, if there's a big storm, they'll come up in a lot of the seaweed and things that come
Right.
up on the beach. And so I have friends that are lifeguards, so they'll be like, oh, I found these guys. I'm like,
Just leave it alone. Don't touch it.
put them back because it gets tricky when you're trying to place them and do all this kind of things. And you have to get permission. You have to make sure that everything's going the right way, and you're better off just leaving them alone. They're super pretty. I get the idea of
Right.
why we keep them. I think they're beautiful.
Yeah, because their back work is really cool.
And if you get, and some of the ornate ones can be white instead of this kind of gray.
Yep.
She has some good color, but some of the ones can almost be bone white in the face.
It's really cool. So other than these cool ones, what else are we going to be putting in here?
So hopefully we'll be putting spotted turtles in there.
Yep.
Maybe some bog turtles, depending on what we do with the other side. Potentially Blandings turtles, eastern box turtles, and wood turtles.
Awesome.
That's the goal as of today.
Awesome.
So.
Well, now you've seen kind of what we're working with, and you've seen the turtles that we're going to be building into this space. It's really cool to see them in the habitat they're in right now because we're building them an actual habitat that is going to mimic nature. It's going to have a lot of the elements that they would find while they're in the wild. So I can't wait to show you guys what this looks like.